What's up, nerds? It's your boy, the OGGM. I have a headache. I am in a very bad place emotionally. Steve the cat is at the vet, and I don't know if I'm bringing him back, unfortunately. I had a really hard weekend, but yeah, stiffer for blip. The ship still needs to sail, the news still needs to be reported, and we still need to talk about this post from our friend Makenzie De Armas, who, not a stranger to controversy, especially since she started working for Wizards of the Coast in 2018, 2019, has managed to go from the shallow end all the way to swan diving into the deep end of stupid posts and controversy creating with her comment here that has, so many things wrong. Now, Makenzie has placed herself at the bottom of a hill and then repeatedly informed us in the short time we've known her how hard it is for her to be climbing up that hill and, how much she's accomplished since she became associated with Wizards of the Coast. Mind you, she's only been associated with D&D since 2018. She's only actually been running games for like 3 or 4 years. So, yes, but apparently she's considered an expert. So much so that she is a creative minister director of something another at Wizards. I don't even remember what her title is. What is she? Apparently Matt Mercer thinks she's cool, or at least was paid to think she's cool, or say nice things about her. Anyway, she's something director, and she worked on the new Deck of Many Things book. There's a new Deck of Many Things book coming out. It's the last product for 2023. Why buy it? Because everything's going to change in 2024. Here's some pictures of it that Nerd Immersion took. Apparently, they've completely changed the Deck of Many Things, or there's more than one Deck of Many Things. It's always been associated that there's several Deck of Many Things. Makenzie claims that her character, Asteria, princess-turned-paladin, helped create the Deck of Many Things and is D&D's first prominent canonically autistic hero. Makenzie claims she is LGBTQT, claims she is autistic, claims she is disabled, and of course she claims she's, possibly Asian too. And she has constantly been saying how hard it is for her to climb up the hill compared to, cis white men. She has gone over after cis white men repeatedly, cis white men, male authors. She's another one of those cis white males need to leave the hobby. If you don't like my stuff, you can kill yourself. If you don't buy my stuff, you're racist kind of thing. So first, so there are so many things in that comment that we need to go through them one by one. And you know what, Makenzie? Maybe you're an awesome person. Maybe you're cool. I mean, an autistic asexual like myself, I would have loved to have met another person in the gaming community who's on the spectrum and asexual and doing things to move the community forward and address, individuals who happen to have special needs. Unfortunately, you had a choice to be cool or to jump into the deep end of the I have to say everything I possibly can to make myself seem politically correct and angry, even though every one of those statements makes me look worse. You are a press release disaster for Wizards of the Coast with your statements like cis white men piss me off and cis, you need to stick a thing up your bleep. Go bleep yourself, blah, 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 blah. If I was Wizards of the Coast and I saw these posts that you're making, you would be out. But I'm not. And apparently this is what Wizards of the Coast wants their employees to say. You want employees that are controversial, that draw attention to you, that say these meme-worthy statements. So then you can fire them and look good, or back them and look good. Or this is all part of the subtle self-destructive program that Wizards of the Coast has been on, so that when 2027 comes around, Hasbro can cut them loose. Because there is some salt to that theory. But let's go over Makenzie's post and post out how many things are both 100% incorrect and 80% incorrect, and then try and figure out what Makenzie meant to say. Because this is what's going to happen. So what Makenzie said is she, through her character, created the Deck of Many Things, and that her character is autistic and is the first character ever in the canon of D&D who's autistic. So let's go down the marks. First and foremost, Makenzie, there is no canon for 5th edition. 5th edition has made that very clear. Jeremy Crawford comes out at least once a year and says there is no canon. The only books that matter are the Player's Handbook and the DM's Guide. Everything else is optional. What happens at your table is canon to your table. So you did not canonically create anything, and you are not canonically the first autistic hero because there is no canon. In fact, there is so much behind the no canon that now Wizards of the Coast is removing products like Mordecaians from the circle of available because Mordecaians assumes canon, and there is no canon anymore, and there won't be any canon going forward. So once again, they're back to there is no canon in 2024 D&D. Anything that happened before 2024 doesn't count. Anything that happened between 2014 and 2023, the only canon is the Player's Handbook and the DM's Guide. Everything else is optional. In fact, it's so optional, we're removing Mordecaians and Tensors from the thing. So let's get that right there. There is no canon. So you cannot say you are canonically, because you're not, and you cannot say you created because you didn't. Now, who created the Deck of Many Things? First appeared in 1975. It was first copyrighted in 1975, 1976. It first appeared in Castle Greyhawk. I can even recite the scene. The scene where you first encounter the Deck of Many Things is a room. There's a guy in a hooded cloak sitting at a table. He has the Deck of Many Things spread out on the table. He's holding a wand of wonder under the table in case things go bad. And basically the challenge is, do you take this individual up and draw the card? So this is my first recollection of the introduction of the Deck of Many Things. And as far as I know, it's the first time we ever saw the Deck of Many Things. So the appearance and invention of the Deck of Many Things predates you being born, much less you working for Wizards of the Coast. Okay. Canonically, your character created the Deck of Many Things. No, canonically, the lore of the Deck of Many Things and its various permutations is very clear as to who created it and its association with Greyhawk and Bokobob, the god of magic, and Zaggy, the crazy archmage. Okay, so yeah, Castle Greyhawk, Zaggy, Deck of Many Things. Yeah, the lore is very specific. Okay, up to 2014. All right, so we know Wizards of the Coast is trying to erase any connection to previous D&D. We know that Wizards of the Coast is actively trying to erase any mention of Gygax. There's no mention of Gygax in the D&D movie. Sorry, Veruca. Sorry, Scott. This is not, Wizards of the Coast is going out of their way to erase any connection with Gary. They don't mention Gary. So they want us to forget Gary invented the Deck of Many Things. So the 2014 DM's Guide features the Deck of Many Things. 2015, there was an adventure on the DM's Guild featuring the Deck of Many Things. So canonically, your character did not create the 2014 Deck of Many Things because A, Makenzie, you weren't working at Wizards of the Coast at the time, and B, it has already canonically appeared in the storyline if you want to play the storyline that I'm canon. My character created it, canon. 1, again, we'll go back to 1. There is no canon, Makenzie. I'm sorry, there's no canon. Your boss has said so. In fact, they've gone so far as starting to remove product because there's no canon. And going forward, as of today, there's no canon. The canon starts with the Player's Handbook 2024 and goes up to June 27th, 2027. That is the brand new 5-year post-Vecna 2024 through 2027 canon is that there is no canon. The only canon is the Player's Handbook and the DM's Guide. Even the Monster Manual is optional because you can make up your own monsters, right? So the best you could have claimed is my character helped create the Deck of Many Things that appears in the product that we are talking about. Okay? My character, Rista, helped create the Deck of Many Things that appears in this product because it's a different Deck of Many Things. We can just look at it right here, the pictures that Nerd Immersion posted, and see that it is different than the Deck of Many Things we know and love. It's got different cards, different references. It is a completely different Deck of Many Things. And there's at least more than one. So yes, this is a brand new Deck of Many Thing as well as the original Deck of Many Things. So the original Deck of Many Things, 52 card deck, all the face cards, plus jokers, plus everything that we know and love. And that as of when this is published, there will be canonically a brand new Deck of Many Things. Now, canonically, there have already been multiple versions of the Deck of Many Things. They've appeared in dungeon magazines. They've appeared in modules. Paizo has the Haro deck, which is their take on the Deck of Many Things. Other companies have made random chaos decks and called them different things. Basically, the only reason Wizards is even making this book is to screw over artists who make a Deck of Many Things and sell them on Etsy. They're turning around and making a brand new Deck of Many Things and saying, you cannot make any art anymore using the old Deck of Many Things. So as of the end of 2023, when this book comes out, there will be the old Deck of Many Things that we all know and love, and a brand new, completely different Deck of Many Things that will, of course, be totally pointless in 2024. What Makenzie should have said is, in the canon of this book, my character, Arista, or Achisra, or whatever her name is, helped with the creation of this new product because I, Makenzie, helped write this product, and I wanted to put a bit of myself into this book because apparently Makenzie has some issues with people, you know, and her ego and needing to be seen and needing to be part of anything. And I'm Makenzie, look how hard it has been for me to get to this point. And nobody else has gone through what I've gone through to get to here. And if you don't appreciate me, well, yeah. Makenzie, again, I don't know. Maybe this is a character you play because you know it will get attention and you're riding the coattails of the negative press that Wizards of the Coast seems to love. Who knows? Maybe you're an awesome person in real life. I'll never meet you. I don't know. I mean, you know, you sound cool. Somebody who loves to go shopping. I love to go shopping. You claim you're autistic. I'm autistic. You claim you're asexual. I'm asexual. You remember, you know, I'm Jewish and whatever, you're, you know, who knows? Maybe you're a real cool person and this is just the character you choose to play online because you know that's what people expect. I don't know. I'm only reacting to your post, Makenzie. So if this is incorrect, I apologize. But I have to respond to the Makenzie I'm seeing. And the Makenzie I'm seeing is somebody who takes a lot of pleasure out of letting people know how hard their life has been, how much they've struggled, everything that's been against them, and look what they accomplished. Fine. Good on you. You created a brand new Deck of Many Things, unique to this product that is coming out at the end of this year. You managed to find some way to get your character involved in this, to the story of the creation of this brand new deck, because reasons that are completely unnecessary. But sure, good on you. Good on you. Good on you. In the canon in your head, in the canon of this book, your character has something to do. What does a paladin have to do with the Deck of Many Things? Well, you know, paladins don't have to be lawful good anymore, so maybe she was the paladin of the god of chaos. I don't know. Whatever. Doesn't matter. You found a way to get your name on the product, you worked on the product, and you found a way to wheedle your character into the story of the Deck of Many Things that is exclusive to this product. So what you should have said is, the cat is out of the bag. I created Asteria, the character who helped create the new Deck of Many Things that is created in this appears in this product. She is uniquely to the story of this Deck of Many Things. But no, what you're making us think is that you are taking credit for an object that has been in circulations since 1975. And you want us to all to think that I, Makenzie, created the Deck of Many Things. Apparently you went back in time and you were there with Gygax and Rob and Dave and the other guys. And you're like, hey, you know what'd be funny? A deck of cards that every time you drew, something wacko happened. That is what you're assuming. And that is what people are getting upset about. Okay. Now, maybe you didn't mean that, which would go back to, of course, Wizards of the Coast needs somebody whose job is literally to check these things and go, nope, you can't say that. Or maybe you truly do feel that you created the Deck of Many Things. But bottom line, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Canonically, no, you didn't. D&D 5e canon, no, you didn't. The best you can claim is in regards to the Deck of Many Things that as it appears in this product, your character has something to do with the story to this specific Deck of Many Things, as opposed to the Deck of Many Things that has existed since 1975. I would have been perfectly happy with that, as would everybody else. Moving on. Autistic Hero, because Makenzie says she is on the spectrum and she is LGB, or he or they. I don't know. I don't know what your pronoun is, Makenzie. So, dude, okay? The dude claims I'm autistic. We don't use the word autism anymore. We use the word on the spectrum. If you were diagnosed anytime within the last 8 years, the term would have been high functioning on autism or on the spectrum. We don't use Asperger's, and we really don't use Autistic. So the fact that you're making such a big deal about that you're autistic and not on the spectrum, or I happen to be a creator who happens to have special needs, which is the child first, individual first correct way to say things like that. You know, I never say I'm autistic. I say I have special needs, or, you know, I happen to have dyslexia. You know, it's never the first thing. Okay. So, but you want us to think that you're autistic. Well, we don't call it autism anymore. We call it on the spectrum. And you sound like you're self-diagnosed. From what little we know, it sounds a lot like you're self-diagnosed. I keep thinking I see Steve, and I know he's not here. Well, self-diagnosis is pointless. But if you do have an actual diagnosis of being on the spectrum, and you were diagnosed within the last 8-10 years, it would have been on the spectrum, and you would have been saying I'm on the spectrum. Whatever. That's not important. Canonically, the first prominent autistic hero in the history of Dungeons and Dragons. That is completely incorrect. Because one, there is no canon other than the canon in your head. And if the canon in your head is your character is the first, that's fine. If the canon in the book, Deck of Many Things book that's coming out at the end of the year is your character is autistic, that's fine to the canon of the book. But canonically, no. There are characters who are on the spectrum who have appeared in Dungeons and Dragons product before your character, going all the way back to Elmo in the Temple of Elemental Evil, or Dragonbait from Azure Bonds, both of whom have been mentioned to have been on the spectrum at least once. There's the Gully Dwarves, there's Hill Giants, there's multiple characters who are canonically on the spectrum, or the creators have said, yes, that individual was autistic, or I wanted you to think, or as much as you could in a D&D product. I mean, I don't know how you could really say in a stat block and in 2 lines of text and relay the fact that, you know, oh, by the way, this character is autistic. It would never come out. Plus in D&D, there's no way to diagnose. As far as I know, there's no spell that says detect autism. So canonically, 80% assured you are not the first canonically character. All right, I get it, Makenzie. I get you want to be excited that you worked on a product. I get that you're excited that a character you created has somehow found their way into the lore of that product. And I get that you helped create something brand new and you want to represent individuals who happen to have special needs, and individuals who happen to be LGBTQT, and individuals who happen to be any race other than cis white male. And I get that you hate cis white men because that is the token thing to hate right now. And apparently you can't work for Wizards of the Coast unless you hate cis white men. So if you need to come across as a racist in order to keep your job, and you're just saying all the things you're expected to say because that's what Wizards of the Coast is telling you to say, I get it. It's fine. Okay. For all I know, you're an awesome person in real life. And this is just the character of Makenzie. I don't know. I'm not as angry as some, but I'm angry. Because in your statement, you make so many assumptions that people are going to call you out on. And this is a horrible time for somebody to be representing Wizards of the Coast and saying things like this again. This is just as bad as Kyle Brink saying, oh, I don't think people like me should be in the hobby anymore, because what he went, you know, and then he, you know, had to spend months backtracking. You're going to have to spend months backtracking this statement. And Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro is looking at you now going, oops, she's being controversial. How controversial do we want this individual to be before we let them go? Because you've done your job and now we don't need you. You, and whether you like it or not, I don't care what your title is, everybody at Wizards of the Coast is dispensable. Even Jeremy Crawford. We can just look at the 30 jobs that are looking to be filled at any specific day on Wizards of the Coast. And yeah, you are completely indispensable, Makenzie. You can be replaced by an AI. Now, as for the brand new Deck of Many Things, who the fuck cares? All right. First, you're completely changing the rules in 2024. So this is pointless other than to make money. Second, we have to buy the super new deck of many things because you changed it, and it's going to cost $100, and it won't work digitally, so you got to buy the physical one. But because it costs blah, 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 blah. And screw you, all the artists on Etsy who make a living by creating product based upon the deck of many things, because you got to get rid of it and make a new one, or which we're not going to let you. Well, for those of us who have a deck of cards and the original chart, that's all you need for the deck of many things up till today. And again, Makenzie, there are so many ways you could have said this. And Nerd Immersion, there are so many ways you could have chosen to address this story. But I don't know whether you people are just easily excitable and so easily angered that you need to say these things without thinking. And Lord knows I'm guilty of saying things without thinking. But you're an employee at Wizards of the Coast, and Nerd Immersion, apparently you've decided to be a Wizards of the Coast shill again. Remember when he was all like, oh, fuck you, Wizards of the Coast, fuck you because of the OGL nonsense. Now he's like, I love you, Wizards of the Coast. Again, I'm sorry. Whatever. So this is going to be a story we're going to talk about over and over and over again because Makenzie, you had to say this. And I don't know why you had to say this. There was a whole bunch of different ways you could have said this that could have come across much better than the way you said it. I almost feel bad for you, Makenzie, because the amount of hate you're going to get. And we know that what Wizards of the Coast is going to say is they're going to say, no, what me meant is that she created the deck of many things that appears in this product. She's not claiming she created the deck of many things, even though they're trying to erase Gygax's association with the artifact and the history of D&D before 2024, because they want us to forget everything that came out before 2014, and they're going to want us to forget everything that came out before 2024. Case in point, Mordenkainen's and Tensors now being erased from the product line. Oh, we don't want those to exist because they assume a canon, and there is no canon other than the Player's Handbook and the DM's Guide. And the 2014-2015 DM's Guide had a deck of many things in it, which means you didn't make it, Makenzie, because you didn't start working for Wizards of the Coast until 2018. But congratulations that you got your name on a product, my friend. Congratulations that you managed to create brand new lore. You could have used this as a chance to create lore that was unique to you, unique to people with on the spectrum, make a brand new magic item, but instead you decided to make people feel like crap, make yourself sound like, oh, I invented the deck of many things. Somehow I magically traveled back in time to 1975 and gave the idea to Gary and Dave and those other guys. Now, I've already said this. I don't think that's what you meant to say, but that's how it came across. And that is the weight you're going to have to bear. That's about all I've got to say on this topic because I'm tired. I'm worried about Steve, and I've got other things to talk about. And that's 23 minutes too long. I almost feel bad for you, Makenzie. Almost. In an alternate universe, maybe you could have been a cool person. But we'll never know. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the amount of attacks that are going to be made against you. But you knew the job was dangerous when you took it. And inevitably, when Wizards of the Coast lets you go, which they will, you'll have no one to blame but yourself. And I'm sorry. I really am kind of feel bad for you, Makenzie. So let me just end that with that. Yeah, just once again, Wizards of the Coast employees should not be allowed to post on Twitter and should be not allowed to speak in public without a Wizards of the Coast press release secretary with them. Because now Wizards of the Coast is going to have to do damage control, and they're already doing damage control over the whole AI art thing and the whole Canon Mordenkainen's is gone thing. I am the OG GM. If you want to hear me talk about this more tomorrow, let me know. If you never want to hear me talk about this again, let me know. Take a moment to subscribe and support me, especially now because Steve's vet bills are going to be expensive. And I'll talk to you later. Have a great day. Draw a card. Yeah, I drew this one.